I want to share with you our vision as a church, and then I want to make a big ask to you. You know, we've had a vision as a church. We're 8 years old, and we have a vision as a church to send out 70 people. That's 70 people by the year 2027 as international missionaries to unreached people groups around the world, as church planners locally to plant churches in areas where the gospel needs to be more saturated. As campuses, we want to plant true life campuses. And we also just want to send out people to help other churches plant churches. And in total, again, as our vision to be a sending church, we want to send out 70 people by 2027 who feel called to go on mission, both globally and locally. So far, last year, the first few years we had to prepare for this. Last year was when we were able to start pulling the trigger on that. We sent out the first couple, April and Joe Walters. They went to help plant a church in Long Branch, a church called Remnant Church in Long Branch. We sent them out last year, and we're hoping to send out more. We've got a few couples kind of in the queue. One couple wants to plant a church that reaches the Hispanic community. And so we're just praying and we're believing that God is going to be helping us to fulfill that vision. Part of that vision and part of that strategy is to have a building, is to have a home base, a missional outpost, if you will, in the Brick area so that we can, from there, launch these churches, launch these campuses, hold these trainings, just kind of a regional hub, if you will. So if we're planting campuses and we're reaching the Hispanic community, we also have this hub where we can come together for trainings, where we can come together to serve the local community. We want to have a food pantry. We want to house homeless people. We want to be able to rent or give out space to AA groups and NA groups and build relationships with them and do counseling for women and couples in crisis pregnancies. And so we have this vision to have this local building, hub, missional outpost. But in order to get that building, what we're realizing financially, here's some of the numbers. What we're realizing is that we don't want to mortgage more than $1 million, because if we have to mortgage more than $1 million, that's going to affect our ability to give in missions as much as we've been giving. And here's what we've been giving in missions. We've been able to give 25% or more each year of our money to missions. That's outside organizations. That's outside church plants. That's organizations like Alair Farm and Step of Faith Ministries and a local pregnancy center. We've been able to give 25% of our income to missions, to things that do not have our name on it. And we don't want to stop doing that. But in order to make sure we're able to continue to do that, we need to make sure we don't have to mortgage more than $1 million. So in order to get a building, which is likely going to need renovation, what we need is $2 million cash. That's our prayer right now, is to raise $2 million cash. And our vision is to do that by April 30th so that we can just get going on finding this building. So $2 million cash, and then we can mortgage up to $1 million for renovation. That's kind of our plan to get this building. Now, so far, we've got $577,000 in the bank. And we just had somebody, a business owner, who a deal came through for him. And he said, I will give $1 million matching gift, matching donation, if you guys can raise another $1 million. So right now, our prayer is to raise another $1 million. He will match us with $1 million. And we've already got $577,000 in the bank. That will enable us to have $2.5 million. And then we only have to mortgage $500,000 for renovations, and that will surely enable us to continue to give at least 25% to missions, and then we don't have to deal with this elephant hanging over us every month. We can put our time and our focus and our energies into planting those campuses, planting those churches, reaching the Hispanic community, serving the community, serving local, supporting global. So that's our vision, and that's where the big ask comes in. If you have some money that you can invest into the kingdom through our church's efforts, if you have money, whether it's $100,000 up to $1 million, that will enable us to reach this goal of having 2 million cash by April 30th. And that will enable this other person to give that matching donation of $1 million. So you can double basically your investment. I'm just going to ask you to pray about this, that you would consider this, that you would seek God on this. And that's all I ask. And whatever God leads you to do, if you at any point want to see paperwork, if at any point you want to see our numbers, you can certainly let me know. But that's the bottom line figures that we have. So I appreciate you watching this. I appreciate you praying. Thank you so much.